Good morning students. Welcome to Gyanjyoti online classes. I am your computer teacher and today we discuss about our fourth chapter, that is Introduction of Microsoft Access 2010. So first we know about Microsoft Access. What we can do on that. Microsoft Access 2010 is a database creation and a management program. So student, this is a creation and database creation and a management of program. It creates database to store information. Means in Microsoft Access we can store the informations and we can create, we can retrieve and we can manage the database. It is a collection of data organized in a manner that helps in easy access, retrieval and use of data. We can also relate one database with the other database. This is called as relational database. Means relational database, what is known as relational database? What is known as relational database? We can relate one database with the other database. Means when we are relating two databases, that is called as relational database. So in a relational it contains many databases and every data sets contain a table organized in a row and columns, and a table contain a record in a row and a field in a column. So the next is components of a database. Components of a database. So now we discuss about component of a database. So Microsoft Access database is made up to 7 major components. In the Microsoft Access, there are major components. 7 major components are there. So the first one is tables. And second is relationships. The second one is our relationships. Third one is queries. Third one is our queries. Next is our forms. Fifth one is our fifth one is our reports. Sixth one is our macros. And last one is our module. So now we discuss about this 7. The first one is our tables. Table that contain data look a bit like a table in Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. Separate spreadsheet when opened. Means when we are opening one Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, it contains a bit like a table. That is called tables. So it contains a record in a row and a field in a column. And tables are the backbone and the storage containers of the data entered into the database. Means it is the storage component of and the backbone of the data what we are entered into the database. So the next one is our relationships. In a relationships, relationships are the bonds that we build between the tables. Means when we are building two tables, this is the bonds that is called relationships. The relationships are used to cross-reference information between tables. And for this there is a field in each table linked to each other and have the same value. Mean in a relationship, what the fields are contained that is linked to each other and have the same value. The next one is our queries. It manipulating the data to display in a form of a report, and queries can sort, can calculate, can group, can filter, can join tables and updates and delete the data. Means by the help of query we can sort the data, we can calculate something, and we can groupism something, and we can also filter the information, we can join tables, we can updates, and we can delete the data. So next is our forms. So forms are the primary interface through which the user of the database enter data. Means by the help of forms we can enter data into the database. It can be set up and developed to reflect the use their intent for. Means it can set up and develop for user can easily give the information that through forms. Like that it is developed for user can easily access it, and user can easily give the data to the databases. So the next is our reports. So it is the result of the manipulating of the data we have entered into the database. Means it is the report is the result what we entered into the database. It is showing the entire things what we have entered, that is called our reports. It is used to generate data from another device or applications. Means by the help of report we can generate the data from another device or another applications. So the next is our macros. It is an automatic way to carry out a series of action for the database. Means by the help of macros we can easily access or we can carry the information from the database. It access gives us a section of action that are carried out in the order we enter. Means in which order we gave the instructions to that macros, it will generate the data like that way. The last one is our module. Modules are the basic of the programming language that supports Microsoft Access 2010. Means by the help of modules we can it is basically helps to the Microsoft Access to the it supports the programming language. So the next is our students, next we discuss about our starting Microsoft Access 2010. Means how we can start the Microsoft Access. For that we have to click on start button. There are some steps are there for starting the Microsoft Access. So the in first step, first we have to open the desktop or our laptop where we want to start the Microsoft Access, and then first we have to click on start button. You have seen the icon like this. In every computer this symbols is there. This is called start button, and first we have to click on this. First we have to click on this start button. After that we have to click on all programs. Here you can see first we have to click on this. This is the start button. So we have to click on the start button. After that we have to click on all programs. When all programs will come, we have to click on Microsoft Office folder. This is the Microsoft Office folder. After that we have to click on this. Now click on Microsoft Access 2010. Here all the Microsoft Office, all program will come. Here we have to click Next we have to press the enter key. This is the box we have to select on. After that we have to click on enter, and this window will appear this window. After that we have to click on blank database. This is the blank database. We have to click on this. After that type the name of the database. Means in which name we want to give the database. We have to type that name. After that click on create. After typing the name we have to click on create. The Microsoft Access 2010 window will open in dataset view. Like one view will open, one page will open like this. After that we know about components of Microsoft Access 2010 Windows. So students, now we discuss about components of Microsoft Access 2010 window. So this is the component which describe the Access 2010 user interface elements to provide link to more information about in Microsoft Access. The components are described the Access 2010 to user interface elements and provides link to more information about. So it basically provide the more information about the Microsoft Access. So there are some elements. What the elements are? Let's know about all the elements. The first one is the backstage view. The first element is the backstage view. So in this the backstage view, it occupies the files tab on the ribbon and contains many commands that were in the file menu in earlier version to access. Means in this backstage view, it occupies some file tab on the ribbon and contains many commands. Means when we are using something, we are seeing the means when we are writing something or something else, then we are seeing the one page. But in that page, that something from that backstage view, in that it occupies some file tabs. So the next is ribbon. Next is our ribbon. The ribbon is the primary replacement of menus and toolbars and provides the main command interface in Access 2010. So it is the primary replacement of menus and toolbars. Means in ribbon it contains the menu bars and the toolbars. Next is our object tabs. Next is our object tabs. So it provides access to all the open database objects appearing in the navigation pane. Means in object tabs, it accesses all the open database object appearing in the navigation pane. Means when we are opening some tabs or opening some files from the database, it have to provide some access that all things are provided by object tabs. So the next is our navigation pane. So in this navigation pane, we can open a database to create a new one, and the name of your database object appear in the navigation pane. Means by the help of this navigation, we can create a new file, or we can create a new blank document, and we can name that document. Means name that document as our object appear in the navigation pane. So next is our record selector. It displays the current record number and the navigates to the records. Means by the help of record selector, we can it can display the current record number and navigator to other records. Means what is the current record you have entered into field. Next we have to give the we have to click on down arrow, means which arrow is downwards, we have to click on that. Of the first field, a drop down list of application will appear. This is the here we have to click on, and this is the drop down menu. This drop down list will appear. After that, click on type of data you want to enter in the field. Means we have to click here what type of data we want to insert. Means in text or in number or in currency or in date and time. What types of data we want to give, we have to select on this. Now enter the name of the field and repeat the step 2 to 4 till the field are named. Means here we have to rename the table name. Means which table we want to create. First we have to give the name. After that again we have to do same things. Means how much tables we want, we have to click on that. Next, now enter the required data in all the fields. Now we have to give all the required data in the fields, and the table become like this. So this is all about entering record in dataset view. Now we can learn about inserting field in the dataset view. Inserting. Now we discuss about inserting field in a dataset view. Inserting field in a dataset view means in entering, we are entering the tables into the dataset. In insert, we have to give some field. We have to insert some fields in dataset view. For that, the first step we have to follow is click on the field you want to insert. Means in which field we want to insert. First we have to click on insert field. Means like in this the department field is there, and in department field we have to insert something, and for that we have to click on insert in the department field. One drop down menu list will come like this. And next click on insert field. Here is the insert field. We have to click on this. The field will be inserted. After that, right click on the new inserted field. A drop down list of menu will appear. Means here one, you have seen that here one insert field is came, and one drop down box will came. Click on rename field. We have to click on here is the rename field option is there. We have to click on that. After that we have to enter the name of the field from the keyboard, and the name of field will appear. Here you can see we have click on, and we have give the state, rename that field as the state, and here is the state field will appear. So students, in entering and inserting, what is the difference? In entering, when we are giving a table, means when we are inserting, when we are doing a table in the data set, then we have to first give the we have to enter all the things in entering, and in inserting, if we lost one column or in that table, then we have to insert that things in the table. So by the help of insert, we can insert that table after entering the data also. So the next is our deleting field in a dataset view. Deleting field in a dataset view. So how we can delete a field in the dataset view? First we have to click on the field you want to delete. Means which field we want to delete, we have to click on that. After that a drop down menu list will appear. This is the drop down menu list. Click on delete field. The last option is the delete field. We have to click on that. After that, Microsoft Access message box will appear asking to permanently delete the fields. This is the dialog box of deleting by the Microsoft Access. Here if we click on yes, the field will be deleted. So when you are deleting something in our phone also, you have seen one dialog box will appear when we are deleting something, that if you are you sure you want to delete that is the dialog box of deleting, and when we click on OK or yes, then the things means then the informations are deleted. After that, creating a database in design view. Next is creating a database. Creating a database in design view. So how can we create a database in design view? First, student, what is design view? Why we need that? Means by the design view, what we can do? First, we have to know about that. So in design view, it allows you to build a table from scratch and set or change every available property of each field. So we can also open existing tables in design view and add and remove or change fields. Means by the help of design view, we can add something, we can remove something, or we can change the fields. So how we create that things? That for that we have to follow some steps. In the first step, open Microsoft Access 2010. So students, now you know how we can open the Microsoft Access 2010. I have told you that from the start button we have to go to all program and Microsoft Office. After that we have to click on Microsoft Access. So now we have to open the Microsoft Access 2010. Again click on create tab. You also know how we can create a tab. That also I told you. After creating the tab, click on table design under the table group. So here you can see how we can create the table design under the table group, and the database will appear the soon. Here we have to click on table design and this will appear after clicking on the table design. So now we know about entering record in design view. Entering, we have to enter in a record in design view. Entering record in design view. So for that, first we have to open the database in the design view. Next is click in the cell under the field name and enter the name of the field. Means click on cell under the field name and enter the name of the field. We have to give the name to the field. After the click in the cell under the data type, we have to click on cell. This is the data type. Here we have to click on the arrow. One drop down box will appear. Here is one small arrow we have to click on, and this drop down box menu will appear. Select the data type for the field. What types of data type we want to give, we have to select on that. After that you can change the properties of the field under the field property options. Means one field property option is there. This is the field property option. If we want to change something properties, then we can change in this, and again we have to repeat all the steps for all the name. Means what we want to give the names, we have to change again that things do we have to do all the steps again. So now we know about saving a table and a database. Saving a table and a database. So how to we save a table and a database? So for that, first first we have to click on a file tab. One drop down menu will appear. So students, this is the file tab, this is the drop down box. After that, click on save object as, means there one option is there, one is save and another is save as. So we have to click on save as. So the save as dialog box will appear. So this is the save as dialog box. Here we have to give the name of the table. Here we have to give the name of the table and click on OK. The table will save. After that, click on file tab. A drop down list menu will appear. Next is here we have to give click on file tab and one drop down box will appear. A message box will appear asking you. After that, click on save database as. Here we have to click on save database as. This is the Microsoft Access save database dialog box. A message box will appear asking you to close all the objects. Here we have to click on yes. Yes, we want to close all the objects. Then the save as dialog box will appear and enter the name of the database in the file name text box. Means here we have to give the file name. After that, click on save. The database will save and the name will appear in the title bar. Means when we give the name and click on save, then that file will save on what name we have given for. The next is our primary key and foreign key. So students, now we discuss about primary key and foreign key. So when a table in our Microsoft Access database has a field of set or field of fields that uniquely identify each record stored in the table, it can be set as primary key. So what is primary key? When a table in our Microsoft Access database has a field or set of fields that uniquely identify each record stored in the tables, means what is identify each the records uniquely from the stored in the table, that is called primary key. Primary key identify all the fields that uniquely identify each record stored in the table, that is called primary key. So Microsoft Access uses primary key fields to quickly associate data from multiple tables and combine the data in meaningful way. We can include the primary key fields in other tables to refer back to the tables that is the source of the primary key. So what is the source of primary key? When we can include the primary key fields in other tables to refer back the tables that is the source of primary key. Means in the source of primary key, it refers back to the table that include the primary key fields in other tables. So in those other tables, the fields are called foreign key. Means in which in that other tables, the fields are called as foreign key. Like let's take the example. Like a customer ID field is the customers table, might also appear in orders table. In the customers table, it is the primary key as it serves as a unique link related information in other tables, whereas it is being used. Means in customer tables, it is the customer ID is the unique key. Means like in our school, you have roll numbers. Your roll numbers doesn't match in another student's roll number. So that is the unique key. What is the unique things in that table? That is called as primary key. So in the others table, it is called foreign key. A foreign key simply related in another table's primary key. So foreign key is simply stated in another table's primary key. So first the primary key and the second is foreign key. So the first is the primary key and the second one is our foreign key. So a good candidate for a primary key has some characteristics. So the The first is it uniquely identifies each rows, and the second is it is never empty. It always contains a value, and the values is it contains never change. So what is the characteristics of primary key? It is uniquely identify each rows, and it is never empty. It should have, it always contain a value. Means primary key will not never empty. It always contain a value, and the values it contains never change. So we cannot change the value what contain in the primary key. So in the absence of the good key, create an auto-number field to use the key. It automatically generates a value for itself when each record is hash saved. Therefore, an auto-number field meets all three characteristics of good primary key. So now we discuss about setting a primary key. How we can set a primary key. For that, we have to open the table in which we want to set a primary key. In which table we want to set that primary key? First we have to open that table. In the navigation pane, right click on the table. Here we have to right click on the table. A drop down list menu will appear. This is the drop down menu list. Click on design view. It is the design view. We have to click on this. Select the field or field or fields that you want to use as a primary key. Here we have to select the fields what we want to use as a primary key. To select one field, click on row selector. For the field you want to select more than one field, hold down control key and then click on row selector for each field. After that, click on design tab. After that, we have to click on design tab. After that, click on primary key in the tool group. Here we have to click on primary key on the, this is the primary key. We have to click on this is in the tool groups. So after that, a key indicator is added to the left of the field, or fields that you specify as primary key. So students, here one small key will come when we select as a primary key. So after that, it is added as a primary key. So students, this is all about your fourth chapter.